The ruins of Proxima 7. The violet sky of Proxima 7 stretched endlessly above the ruins, its twisted spires reaching up like desperate fingers from the ground. Dr. Elara Voss adjusted her atmospheric suit's lighting, brushing away centuries of dust from the ancient wall. Her heart sank as she revealed yet another warning glyph. "Not again," she muttered, her antenna twitching with a mixture of anticipation and dread. The ruins of Proxima 7 were vast, a testament to a civilization that had once thrived but now lay in silent desolation. Director Voss called out her assistant, Kale Torin, from across the dig site. "You might want to see this. We found another chamber." Elara sighed, making her way carefully across the excavation site. Her boots crunched against the crystallized remains of what had once been a thriving metropolis. The new chamber Kale had discovered was perfectly preserved, its walls covered in detailed star charts and what appeared to be historical records. "Run a full-spectrum analysis," Elara ordered, her professional excitement temporarily overriding her concerns. "And get me a direct link to the Galactic Archaeological Council. They need to see this." Kale nodded, his scaled fingers dancing across his holographic interface. "Already done, Director. But there's something different about this one. The civilization that built this place, they were Type 3. These aren't just warnings. They are recordings of their attempts to study Earth." Elara felt her scales bristle. A Type 3 civilization, capable of harnessing the energy of entire galaxies, afraid of a primitive planet like Earth? It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. "Play the primary record," she commanded, settling into a comfortable observation stance. The chamber hummed to life, ancient technology responding to their presence. A holographic figure materialized, tall and elegant, with multiple arms and eyes that spoke of evolution in a high-gravity environment. "This is High Scholar Zen R.A. of the Collective," the figure began, its voice translated in real time by their suits. "This warning is our last act before our species enters voluntary extinction. We have seen what guards Earth. We have witnessed the price of curiosity. The humans are not what they appear to be. They are wardens, jailers of something far more dangerous. We thought we could study them safely. We were wrong. If you find this message, heed our warning. Do not approach Earth. Do not attempt contact. They are not hostile. They are protective. And with good reason." The message ended abruptly, leaving Elara and Kale in stunned silence. 7 different extinct civilizations, spread across 3 galactic arms, all leaving the same warning about a planet that had barely achieved space flight. "Director," Kale said quietly, his voice trembling slightly. "The dating system puts this message at over 3 million years old. Earth didn't even have multicellular life then. How could they have been guarding anything?" Elara felt a shiver run down her spine. "Get me the council," she said firmly. "And Kale, mark this site as Code Black. No one comes in or out without direct authorization from me." As she waited for the communication link to establish, Elara stared at the star chart showing Earth's location. The planet showed up as a small, unassuming, barely worth noting among the billions of other worlds. Yet something about it had terrified a civilization capable of reshaping galaxies into voluntary extinction. "What are you really guarding?" she whispered to the image of Earth. "And what kind of creatures are you humans to be trusted with such a burden?" The only answer was the hollow wind whistling through the roof ruins of a dead civilization, one of many that had asked the same questions and paid the ultimate price for their curiosity. Heading: The Galactic Archaeological Council. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Archaeological Council buzzed with nervous energy as Elara Voss presented her findings. The massive amphitheater, designed to hold representatives from 1,000 worlds, felt uncomfortably empty with only the Emergency Response Committee present. 7 extinct civilizations, Elara stated, her voice echoing through the chamber. Each more advanced than the last. Each leaving the same warning about Earth. This can't be coincidence. Council leader Maya Shin leaned forward, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with concern. Director Voss, what exactly are you proposing? A research mission, Elara replied, bringing up a holographic display of Earth. But not like the others. We study from a distance. We observe. We learn what they are hiding. But most importantly, we survive. The chamber erupted in whispers. Studying Earth had become taboo after the disappearance of the last 3 research vessels. Even mentioning the planet in academic circles could damage a career. Absolutely not, growled Renthax, the council's military advisor. His massive frame rose from his seat, cybernetic eye whirring as it focused on Elara. I lost my entire squad to Earth's defense systems 20 cycles ago. They didn't even seem to notice they destroyed us. Their technology shouldn't exist at their development level. Which is exactly why we need to understand what's happening, a new voice cut through the chamber. Dr. Pax Nori, in her hover chair, glided smoothly down the steps. The renowned xenoanthropologist's arrival caused another wave of murmurs. Dr. Nori, council leader Shin acknowledged, surprise evident in her bioluminescence. We weren't expecting you. I came as soon as I received Director Voss's data packet, Pax replied, her chair settling next to Elara. The patterns are undeniable. These warnings, they are not just about fear. They are about respect. Respect for primitives. Ren scoffed, his cybernetic parts humming with agitation. Primitives who somehow destroyed your military vessel without even acknowledging your existence, Pax shot back. Primitives who have survived every attempt at contact or study. Primitives who, according to these warnings, have been guarding something for millions of years. Elara stepped forward. That's why we need both of you. Dr. Nori's expertise in cultural analysis. Commander Thax's military experience. We observe from the edges of their solar system. No contact. No probes. Nothing that could trigger their defenses. Council leader Shin's patterns shifted to a deep purple of contemplation. And your assistant, Kale Torin. What role would he play? Chief Data Analyst, Elara replied without hesitation. He's already found patterns in the warning messages that our best AIs missed. He chamber fell silent as Shin considered the proposal. Finally, her patterns brightened to decision blue. 3 months. You have 3 months to observe and report. The first sign of danger, you withdraw immediately. Commander Thax will have override authority on all decisions. Ren's cybernetic eye spun in surprise. You are actually approving this? We need answers, Shin replied firmly. 7 civilizations don't choose extinction without reason. Whatever humans are guarding, we need to know if it threatens us all. As the meeting adjourned, Elara found herself cornered by Pax Nori. The xenoanthropologist's eyes sparkled with barely contained excitement. I have a theory, Pax whispered, glancing around to ensure they weren't overheard. About the humans. About what they are guarding. Already? Elara's antenna twitched with interest. Think about it. Every civilization that left warnings was more advanced than the last. But humans, they have been there, unchanged, guarding whatever it is for millions of years. What if they are not primitive at all? What if it's all a facade? Before Elara could respond, Renthax's heavy footsteps approached. If you two are done conspiring, we have a mission to plan. My ship, the Silent Watcher, is prepped and waiting. We leave in 6 hours. As they walked toward the docking bay, Elara couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something obvious. The humans didn't act like jailers or guardians. They fought among themselves, pursued their own goals, seemed oblivious to the greater galaxy. Either it was the greatest deception ever maintained, or the truth was something far stranger than any of them had guessed. Director Voss. Kale called out, running to catch up with them. I found something else in the ruins. Something I didn't include in the report. What is it? The High Scholar's final personal log. Most of it was corrupted, but one line was clear: the humans don't know what they are guarding. They are not guards. They are part of the containment. Heading: The Silent Watcher. The Silent Watcher hung motionless at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, its advanced cloaking systems rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive detection methods. In the ship's vast data center, Kale Torin projected his findings onto the curved walls surrounding them. "Look at this pattern," he said, highlighting sections of text from different civilizations. "The Proxima 7 warning we found was just the beginning. The quantum archives on Helios Beta contain 5 more warnings, each from a different species. And now, the ship's AI has translated the artifacts we recovered from the Omega Drift." Pax's hover chair glided closer to the wall, her eyes scanning the projected texts. "Show them chronologically," she commanded. The texts rearranged themselves by age, the oldest dating back nearly 4 billion years, came from a race called the Axiom. "Attention starfaring species," Pax read aloud. "The blue world of Sol must remain quarantined. Our greatest achievement became our final mistake. The humans are our solution, though they do not know it. Let them be." Ilara's antenna twitched. 4 billion years ago? That's impossible. Humans hadn't evolved yet. "Exactly," Pax said, her voice trembling with excitement. "Now look at the next warning. From the silicon mines of Teddy. 3 billion years ago." Renthax stepped forward, his cybernetic eye whirring as it captured every detail. "The containment species performs its task without awareness. Do not interfere. We attempted to accelerate their development. The results were catastrophic. Now the pattern becomes clear," Kale said, bringing up a timeline. "Every 500 million years, like clockwork, an advanced civilization discovers Earth. They study it. They try to interact. And then they choose extinction. But why?" Ilara finished. "What could be so terrible that death seems preferable to living with the knowledge?" Pax's hover chair moved to another section of text. "The Helios Beta warning might give us a clue. Notice this phrase: the Guardians evolve but never advance." Commander Thax snorted. "That makes no sense. Evolution is advancement." "Not necessarily," Pax countered. "Biological evolution doesn't always mean technological advancement. The humans have evolved physically over millions of years, but something keeps their civilization in a specific technological range. They advance to a certain point, then mysteriously regress or destroy themselves, only to build back up again." Kale cleared his throat nervously. "There's more. I have been analyzing the disappearances of previous research teams. The Stellar Concord lost 3 ships studying Earth. The Hive Collective lost 5. But here's the strange part. They didn't crash. They didn't get destroyed. According to the black box recordings I have managed to decrypt, they simply ceased to exist." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. On the walls around them, the warnings from dead civilizations seemed to glow more ominously. "Pull up the report from the Nostromo research team," Ren commanded. "The last one before my military mission." Kale complied, and a new hologram filled the center of the room. The recording showed a female scientist, her expression haunted. "Day 47 of Earth observation," the recording began. "We have detected something impossible. The humans, they are not just evolving randomly. Their DNA shows signs of engineering so advanced it might as well be magic. But the engineering isn't making them more advanced. It's keeping them exactly where they are. Generation after generation, someone or something adjusts their genes to maintain a precise balance. Not too primitive. Not too advanced. They are not guardians. They are a living lock. And their entire planet is the key." Ilara felt her scales ripple with unease. "When was this recorded?" 3 days before the Nostromo vanished, Ren replied grimly. Along with its entire crew of 15 researchers. Pax wheeled her chair to the central console. Cross-reference all instances of genetic manipulation mentioned in the warnings, she ordered. The ship's AI data streams flowed across the walls as the AI compiled the information. Patterns emerged, connecting disparate pieces of information across billions of years. The axiom called it the Great Chain, Pax said, pointing to a recurring phrase. The Silicon Mines named it the Eternal Tether. The Helios Beta warning refers to bonds of flesh and time. But engineered by whom? Ilara wondered aloud. The axiom, they were the first to leave a warning. No, Kale said quietly. Look at their warning again. They call the humans their solution but admit to it being their greatest mistake. They found Earth and the humans already like this. Whatever engineered humanity predates even them. Commander Thax's cybernetic components hummed as he processed this information. The disappearing research teams, they all vanished after making this same discovery. Not quite, Kale replied, bringing up more data. They vanished after trying to break the pattern. The Nostromo tried to make contact with humans. The Stellar Concord attempted to accelerate human technology. The Hive Collective, they tried to destroy Earth entirely. And your military mission, Commander, what were your true orders? Ren's organic eye narrowed. Classified. Not anymore, came Council Leader Shin's voice as her hologram materialized in the room. Tell them, Commander. They need to know what they are really dealing with. Ren's shoulders slumped slightly. We were sent to capture a human. To study them directly. To understand how they could be both the lock and the key. He paused, his cybernetic eye dimming. We never even got close. Our weapons, our shields, our engines, everything just stopped working. As if the laws of physics themselves rejected our presence. And now we know why, Pax said softly. We are not supposed to interfere with the containment. The humans aren't just guarding something. They are the guard. A living barrier woven into the fabric of reality itself. The silence that followed was broken by an urgent beeping from the ship's sensors. Kale rushed to check the readings, his scales paling. Director Voss, he said, his voice shaking. Something's coming. Something big. And it's coming from Earth. The approaching anomaly. The approaching anomaly turned out to be nothing more than a primitive human satellite, but it sent the crew of the Silent Watcher into a frenzy of activity nonetheless. They tracked its trajectory with state-of-the-art sensors, analyzing every detail. This makes no sense, Ren Thax muttered, studying the readouts. The materials are primitive. The design is inefficient. The technology is practically ancient. Yet, our sensors can barely track it. Ilara finished his thought. As if it exists in multiple states simultaneously. Pax adjusted her hover chair's height to better view the main screen. Try focusing the quantum sensors on the satellite's power source. The image shifted, revealing something that caused everyone in the command center to fall silent. The satellite's simple solar panels were somehow generating energy levels that should have been impossible. The humans think they are using solar power, Kale said, his voice filled with wonder. But look at these readings. The panels aren't collecting solar energy at all. They are harvesting something else. Something our instruments can't even identify. Ilara felt a chill run down her spine. What are they really doing out here, she whispered. And what are we missing? As the crew of the Silent Watcher continued to observe the satellite, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of discovering something far greater than they had ever imagined. The warnings from the ancient civilizations echoed in their minds, a constant reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. But for now, they could only watch and wait, hoping that they would survive long enough to uncover the truth about Earth and the humans who called it home. Heading, the final warning. As the satellite continued its journey through the Kuiper Belt, the crew of the Silent Watcher prepared for the next phase of their mission. They knew that the answers they sought lay somewhere on Earth, but they also knew that getting there would be no easy task. The warnings from the ancient civilizations were clear: do not approach Earth. Do not attempt contact. The humans were not what they appeared to be. But as Elara Voss stared at the image of the satellite on the main screen, she couldn't help but feel a sense of determination. They had come too far to turn back now. Whatever the humans were guarding, whatever the truth was, they needed to find it. For the sake of their own civilization, and for the sake of the entire galaxy, they had to know. And so, as the Silent Watcher continued its silent vigil at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, the crew prepared themselves for the challenges that lay ahead. They knew that the journey would be dangerous, that they might not all survive. But they also knew that the truth was worth the risk. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars. Heading, the journey begins. With the satellite's mysterious energy source still unexplained, the crew of the Silent Watcher knew that their mission was far from over. They had uncovered clues that pointed to a greater truth, but they also knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger. The warnings from the ancient civilizations were clear, but so was their determination to uncover the truth. As they prepared to leave the Kuiper Belt and venture closer to Earth, the crew couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. They knew that the answers they sought lay somewhere on that small, unassuming planet. And they knew that whatever they found, it would change the course of history forever. And so, with a sense of purpose and determination, the crew of the Silent Watcher set their course for Earth. They knew that the journey would be long and difficult, but they also knew that the truth was worth the risk. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars. The edge of the solar system. The Silent Watcher glided silently through the void, its cloaking systems rendering it invisible to Earth's primitive detection methods. The crew, now fully aware of the gravity of their mission, worked tirelessly to prepare for the next phase. Elara Voss stood at the command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of Earth's solar system. The small, blue planet loomed in the distance, its presence both inviting and foreboding. Approaching the outer edges of the solar system, Kale Torin announced, his voice steady but tinged with nervous excitement. All systems are functioning optimally. Cloaking remains active. Elara nodded, her antenna twitching as she processed the information. Keep a close eye on any anomalies. We can't afford any surprises. Ren Thax, the military advisor, stood nearby, his cybernetic eye scanning the data streams. We're entering uncharted territory, he muttered. Every previous mission that got this close ended in disaster. We need to be prepared for anything. Pax Nori, the xenoanthropologist, floated in her hover chair, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. This is it, she said softly. The moment of truth. Whatever secrets Earth holds, we're about to uncover them. The first encounter. As the Silent Watcher ventured deeper into the solar system, the crew detected a series of faint signals emanating from a cluster of asteroids. What are those? Elara asked, her attention drawn to the flickering lights on the holographic display. Kale adjusted the sensors, zooming in on the source. It's a derelict spacecraft, he said, his voice filled with awe. But it's unlike anything I've ever seen. The crew gathered around the display, their eyes wide with wonder. The derelict spacecraft was massive, its design both ancient and advanced. Its hull was covered in intricate patterns, similar to the glyphs they had found on Proxima 7. This must be from one of the civilizations that left the warnings, Pax said, her voice trembling with excitement. We need to investigate. Elara hesitated, her mind racing with the implications. It could be a trap, she said cautiously. Or a warning. We can't afford to take unnecessary risks. Ren nodded in agreement. But we also can't ignore this. It might hold the key to understanding what we're dealing with. After a moment of deliberation, Elara made her decision. Prepare a reconnaissance team. We'll send a probe to gather data. No one sets foot on that ship until we know it's safe. The probe's discovery. The probe, equipped with advanced sensors and cameras, was launched towards the derelict spacecraft. As it approached, the crew watched in tense silence, their eyes glued to the holographic display. The probe's cameras revealed a ship that had been abandoned for millennia, its corridors dark and silent. The walls were covered in more glyphs, their meaning still a mystery. Receiving data, Kale announced, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The ship's power source is still active, but barely. It's running on some kind of quantum energy. And, there's something else. He paused, his scales paling. There are life signs. Faint, but definitely there. The crew exchanged worried glances. Life signs? Elara repeated, her antenna twitching nervously. But the ship has been abandoned for millions of years. How is that possible? Pax leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. Unless, whatever is on that ship is not bound by time. Or it's been in stasis. We need to bring it aboard. Ren shook his head. Too risky. We don't know what we're dealing with. It could be dangerous. Elara considered their options, her mind racing. We can't ignore this. But we also can't afford to take unnecessary risks. Prepare the quarantine bay. We'll bring it aboard, but we'll take every precaution. The quarantine bay. The derelict spacecraft's mysterious occupant was carefully transported to the Silent Watcher's quarantine bay. The crew watched through the reinforced glass, their hearts pounding with anticipation. The creature, if it could be called that, was unlike anything they had ever seen. Its form was fluid, shifting and changing with every passing moment. It seemed to be made of pure energy, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly glow. What is it? Kale whispered, his voice filled with awe. Pax adjusted her hover chair, her eyes scanning the creature with a mixture of curiosity and fear. It's a being of pure energy. Or perhaps a construct. It's hard to tell. But it's definitely sentient. Ren's cybernetic eye whirred as he analyzed the data. It's emitting some kind of signal. But it's not directed at us. It's calling out to something. Elara felt a chill run down her spine. Calling out to what? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Before anyone could answer, the creature's form shifted, coalescing into a more defined shape. It resembled a humanoid figure, but its features were indistinct, as if it were still trying to decide what it wanted to be. The first contact. The creature's form solidified, and for a moment, it seemed to look directly at the crew through the glass. Then, without warning, it spoke. Its voice was a strange, melodic hum, translated by the ship's AI into a language they could understand. You have come far, it said, its tone both ancient and timeless. But you are not ready for what lies ahead. Elara stepped forward, her antenna twitching with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Who are you? She asked, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. The creature's form shimmered, its features shifting as if it were trying to find the right words. I am a remnant. A memory of a civilization long gone. We were the first to discover the truth about Earth. And we paid the price for our curiosity. Pax leaned forward, her eyes wide with excitement. What truth? What are the humans guarding? The creature's form flickered, as if the question caused it pain. They are not guarding something. They are the guardians. The lock. The key. And the barrier. To interfere is to risk everything. Ren's cybernetic eye whirred as he processed the information. What do you mean, the barrier? What are they protecting us from? The creature's form shifted again, its features becoming more defined. From what lies beyond. From the darkness that seeks to consume all. The humans, they are the last line of defense. But they do not know it. Elara felt a shiver run down her spine. Why don't they know? Why keep them in the dark? The creature's form shimmered, its voice growing softer. Because knowledge is dangerous. To know is to risk awakening what should remain asleep. We made that mistake. And we paid the price. The decision. The crew exchanged worried glances, the weight of the creature's words sinking in. What do we do now? Kale asked, his voice trembling. Elara took a deep breath, her mind racing with the implications. We continue our mission. But we do so with caution. We need to understand what the humans are guarding. But we also need to ensure that we don't awaken whatever it is they're protecting us from. Ren nodded in agreement. We'll proceed as planned. But we'll keep this information to ourselves. The council can't know about this. Not yet. Pax adjusted her hover chair, her eyes filled with determination. We need to find a way to communicate with the humans. Without alerting them to our presence. If we can understand them, we might be able to uncover the truth. Elara felt a sense of resolve settle over her. Then that's what we'll do. We'll observe. We'll learn. And we'll find a way to protect ourselves without risking everything. The creature's form shimmered one last time, its voice fading into a whisper. Be careful. The path you walk is fraught with danger. But the truth is worth the risk. As the creature's form dissipated, the crew of the Silent Watcher knew that their mission had just become infinitely more complicated. They were on the brink of uncovering a truth that could change the course of history. But they also knew that the stakes had never been higher. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars. The journey continues. With the creature's warning still echoing in their minds, the crew of the Silent Watcher prepared to continue their journey. They knew that the path ahead would be dangerous, that they might not all survive. But they also knew that the truth was worth the risk. And as they set their course for Earth, they couldn't help but feel a sense of determination. Whatever secrets the humans were guarding, they would uncover them. And they would do so without awakening the darkness that lay beyond. As the Silent Watcher glided silently through the void, the crew couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. They were on the brink of uncovering a truth that could change the course of history. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars. The final frontier. As the Silent Watcher approached the outer edges of Earth's solar system, the crew prepared themselves for the challenges that lay ahead. They knew that the journey would be dangerous, that they might not all survive. But they also knew that the truth was worth the risk. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars. The crew of the Silent Watcher knew that their mission was far from over. They had uncovered clues that pointed to a greater truth, but they also knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger. The warnings from the ancient civilizations were clear, but so was their determination to uncover the truth. As they prepared to leave the Kuiper Belt and venture closer to Earth, the crew couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. They knew that the answers they sought lay somewhere on that small, unassuming planet. And they knew that whatever they found, it would change the course of history forever. And so, with a sense of purpose and determination, the crew of the Silent Watcher set their course for Earth. They knew that the journey would be long and difficult, but they also knew that the truth was worth the risk. And as they looked out at the vast expanse of space before them, they couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the mysteries that lay hidden among the stars.